regarding training of untrained in-service elementary teachers in so and so, it is apprised that the amendment to section 23(2) of the RT to extend the period for such training to 31st March 2019 has been passed by Parliament. Further, it is reiterated that this will be the last chance to acquire the requisite minimum professional qualifications. Any teacher in the aforementioned schools who does not have the minimum qualifications mandated under the RT Act would not be allowed to continue in service beyond 1st April 19. And procedure for dismissal shall be initiated against such teachers. A broad strategy and the following action is to be initiated. This is to all states and UTs. So very clearly, at least as far as in-service teachers, not only TET, it's also the DLA, which is the 24-month course. They decided, because we have 31st March 19 looming up, they provided for in-service teachers that they will get the DLA qualification within 18 months by doing it online. So both TET and DLA are available in an expedited form so that you can get this by that date. So that date is come and gone, and those who are in service as per 23(2) and who did not get this would then have to be dismissed as per this letter. That's the understanding. It doesn't apply to anybody else.
Your Lordship, kindly, it's well sufficient. There's a proviso is enabling in character, and it contains a command also. It enables a teacher who is already in service, and that teacher is expected to get the qualification within the time.
Correct.
And that's a command also.
Yes.
You're right.
Now, my lord, there is another reason why it would not have to acquire the TET, those people. And that follows from what is the minimum qualifications laid down by NCT. What has to be complied with is NCT's.
What has to be complied with is the legislation.
No. First of all, my lord, your lordship will see what is it that has to be complied with. It is the NCT's dictum which has to be complied with. I'll go back to the section. Page 23 of the compilation, or wherever your lordship. They must possess such minimum qualifications as laid down by NCT. And that minimum qualification, my lord, if he doesn't have, then he must acquire it, let us assume. So, my lord, it depends on what NCT said in its notification, notifying the minimum qualifications. Now, if your lordship sees the first notification, there are three notifications which I have to take, your lordship.
Yes.
The first notification, my lord, this, I have got it here, my lord, in an application in IA 234814.
It's not part of volume 1.
No, it is not part of.
We have filed a compilation in 101.8. All notifications are there.
101.8.
Yes. Council on record is Yogesh Khanna.
But they also filed it in R. Varun, but it's in a IA. R. Varun is number
101.8 में compilation.
Vanaja versus State of Tamil Nadu.
It says that another compilation has all the constitutions are held.
Which matter has been filed?
It's not, it's the compilation which I can hand it over and prepare it if I need.
It's there. What are you?
My volume 3 has it.
Your volume 3 has it.
If my friend can correct me.
Mr. Gupta, just give the dates of the three notifications.
Right.
We'll find
23rd August 2010 is the first one.
Serial number 4.
Serial number 4, right?
The second one is below 29th of July
That is serial
2011. Third one is 12th of November 2014.
9. Serial 9.
Serial 9.
Okay.
We'll consider volume 3.
Very good. Your lordship considers. Page number.
Serial number 4 first.
First of all, 23rd of August 2010. And below I'm placing the top also. Gopal, what is
the English version starts at 33.
English is it?
English starts at 33.
English starts at page 33. In exercise of powers conferred under subsection 1 of section 23 of the RTE and in pursuance to notification of 31st March 2010, that was the one which appointed NCT as the academic authority. The National Council for Teacher Education hereby lays down the following minimum qualifications for a person to be eligible for appointment as teacher in class 1 to 8 in a school referred to in clause N of section 2 of the RTE Act with effect from the date of this notification. Then it is in two parts. Minimum qualification class 1 to 5. The first part is A. A has got the academic qualifications, senior, secondary, etc. And B, pass in the teacher eligibility test to be conducted by the appropriate government in accordance with guidelines framed by NCTA for the purpose.
Yes.
I will rely on the language of this notification itself, Lord, in aid of my interpretation argument. But just for the time being, let me complete it. Class 6 to 8, that is secondary school. A is again academic qualification, BSc in this case, plus or senior secondary plus BLA. And B, pass in teacher eligibility test to be conducted by the appropriate government according to the guidelines. Same. But 4, now 4 is very important in the light of your lordship's question. Teacher appointed before the date of this notification. The following categories of teachers appointed for classes 1 to 8 prior to the date of this notification need not acquire the minimum qualification specified. A teacher appointed on or after 3rd of September 2001, that is the date on which regulations 2001 as amended from time. So, if you are being appointed prior to 23rd of August 2010, you do not have to have this date. So they have specified the minimum qualification doesn't include date at that point of time. What do you have to have? You have to have the 2001. You have to be in accordance with 2001. That is prior to the RTE altogether. So there were minimum qualification regulations.
Does it not go against the proviso?
No, Milan, because whether to have it or not is a matter for NCT.
Provided that a teacher who at the commencement of this act does not possess minimum qualifications as laid down under subsection 1
Yes.
shall acquire such minimum qualifications.
Now, Milan, the minimum.
Under 26
No, Milan.
what the statute requires, NCT
Yeah,
says
just 1
what it
minute.
requires.
Just 1 minute. It is NCT which will lay down the minimum qualifications. The statute doesn't.
Right.
Now, if NCT, when laying down the minimum qualification, specifies that you don't have to have a tech prior to this date, then that is the minimum qualification laid down by NCT.
This is talking about a teacher appointed on or after 3rd September 2001.
That's it. 2001 up to 23rd of August 2010. You will have to have,
Where do you get 23rd August 2001?
because this particular notification comes into effect on that day.
Yes,
That is 23rd of August 2010.
yes.
So, my lord, he will not have to have any of the qualifications under this notification in para 1 if he has those which are prior to 2009 itself. In other words, my lord, the existing regulations will be sufficient. The new regulations will not come into effect for such persons.
No. Who is accepted? Who is accepted from the requirement of possessing qualifications?
Anybody who has the NCT
A
qualification,
person, a teacher
yes,
appointed after 3rd September 2001
that is 10 years before. Onwards, from
who
2001, that's the previous regime.
a teacher who has been appointed after 3rd September 2001,
Yes.
that means in accordance with the NCT Determination of Minimum Qualifications Regulations 2001.
Right.
He must have had the qualifications mentioned in the 2001 regulation.
Absolutely.
This is one class.
Yes.
There is a proviso.
Yes. Provided that a teacher of class 1 to 5 possessing B.Ed qualification or a teacher possessing B.Ed special education or D.Ed special education qualification shall undergo an NCT recognized 6-month special program on elementary education. This is not TET.
Right.
Now, so therefore, my lord,
Very well.
this is a roundabout way.
Come to B.
Well, I'll come to. All right. Let me finish.
Is
A teacher of class 1 to 5 with B.Ed qualification who has completed a 6-month special basic teacher course, special PTC approved
by the NCT.
also not TET, a teacher appointed before 3rd September in accordance with prevalent recruitment rules. So, my lord,
Now,
this is a roundabout way of saying
is this C after B?
which
A teacher appointed before 3rd September.
yes,
Is it part of B or is it C?
no,
Because
it's C.
it is C.
It is C. In my copy, my lord, it is clearly showing C.
No, because the stitching has come in such a way
Oh,
that
that
C is not visible, but that is C. That is C.
Now, so my lord, this is a roundabout way. Rule 4 is a roundabout way of saying that if you have the qualifications prior to RTE Act, then you do not have to get it. In other words, my lord, this is an answer to your lordship's question.
No, but A and C, isn't there a contradiction? A says teacher appointed on or after 3rd September 2001.
Yes.
And C says the teacher appointed before 3rd September 2001. Why, isn't there a contradiction then?
No. Those who are appointed before 3rd September 2001, they are absolutely excluded.
Or my lord, there were other recruitment rules.
Same thing. Equivalent recruitment rules. But as far as he is concerned, he must have been recruited in terms of the 2001 regulations. So these 2001 regulations must have come into force on 3rd September. So any teacher being appointed after 3rd September 2001, irrespective of what the equivalent RR is, has to comply with this addition, regulation 2001.
So the difference between A and C is before and after.
Before and
A is on or after 3rd September and C is before 3rd September. So, my lord, effectively, my lord, whatever is the status quo will continue to be the status quo for those who have been appointed prior to 23rd of August 2010. Of course, that date gets pushed back later on. We'll come to that in a minute. But my lord, the important thing is, this answers your lordship's query as to who is a teacher who needs to take that 5 years time, who needs to get the TET within 5 years. If you are covered by this and if you are appointed prior to the date of this notification, then you are not required even within 5 years or 10 years to obtain the TET. That is the mandate of NCT, which is the authority which has been allowed to lay down the mandate. That is why, my lord, it doesn't conflict the section.
No, it may still conflict this section.
Yes.
Because this is not saying this is not the minimum criteria or the minimum qualification.
It is saying.
It is saying it's a minimum qualification.
Yes.
But we are giving you a waiver.
No,
Just
it is not a waiver. It is saying.
Need not acquire the minimum qualification.
No, my lord.
Uses the expression. Just turn to this page.
Therefore, my lord, you do not have to have anything, not just TET.
No. Need not. When it says need not acquire the minimum qualification,
Yes.
that means it is admitting that this is a minimum qualification.
No, my lord. If he, my lord, is a teacher who doesn't need to acquire,
Yes.
then he never needs to acquire.
No. Need not acquire minimum qualification.
So, my lord, it is giving him an option of acquiring it if he wishes to. But it is not making it minimum qualification.
It is the minimum qualification, but it is giving a waiver.
Then it's giving a waiver forever.
That's the way. If the problem today is, if we read it that it is amounting to giving a waiver,
Yes.
then it will be in the teeth of the section.
My lord,
The problem is, will it survive the section?
no, so, my lord, in my respectful submission, my lord, that would throw the entire education system into the sink. Because, my lord, then every teacher in this country will have to take the NCT exam, TET exams. Even the system cannot take. There is not enough institutional arrangements for giving who is a teacher in situ today. Impossible.
Sir, conducting it. There are
No,
No, for the future. For the future.
Lord, beginning of my argument, I
No,
said,
for the
CBSE and Kendra Vidyalaya, my lord, they stood by the 2010 regulations. They never allowed, my lord, for teachers who were appointed earlier, my lord, to get qualified under TET. If you also see CBSE schools, as well as Kendra Vidyalaya schools, it's only for prospective. Lord, everyone understood, Lord, that it is meant only prospective appointments, not retrospective. Lord, this will create a chaos and confusion, Lord, if you are going to interpret, because
Then
the
why
learned
did the
judge
state
under
file the
the
appeal?
impute judgment, no, let her not interrupt. The learned judge under the impute judgment has made it very clear this act and Lord regulation is only prospective. Lord, why we came here is he said that we can't apply to the promotion for those teachers who have already appointed earlier to this cutoff date. Lord, to that extent only, Lord, we are challenging before this court because the regulation doesn't say that such of those teachers who are appointed earlier to that cutoff date should, Lord, qualify in order to, Lord, for being considered for promotions. To that extent only, Lord, we have come before this court. In fact, Lord, several judgments of Madras High Court have already made it very clear. Such of those teachers, Lord, who have already, Lord, appointed earlier, they did not have, Lord, acquired TET qualification. And, Lord, those judgments have become final and conclusive.
So, the problem over here seems to be the argument is cutting both ways.
Yes.
See, his primary argument is that TET is a mandatory requirement.
Mandatory prospective.
Maybe perspective is a mandatory requirement, therefore it must be followed by the minority institutions. It is not. It does not admit to any waiver. That's his first argument.
That's after.
Lord, then he is Lord, reading something into the act.
No.
No.
Yes.
When he says,
I'm not saying minorities should get it before the date of the.
You're right, but he's saying maybe perspective. But he's insisting that this requirement is mandatory.
Lord, there are two things, Lord, to see.
Okay, we're trying to
One is-
understand whether his argument is contradicting each other or is it proper. Once he insists that it's a mandatory requirement even for minority institutions, maybe perspective, then can we say that it is not applicable retrospective? That means it is capable of being waived. We are trying to understand because he's been talking about standards of education. He's talking about quality of education. If this is standard and quality of education, cutting across all, and he's trying to ensure equality in all educational institutions. That's his primary argument, that there has to be equality in all educational institutions. He is concerned with excellence in education. He is concerned with quality and standards of education. If that is the argument, then can it be waived for about 50% of the teachers and colleges?
Lord, we are dealing with the service jurisprudence.
Yes.
The Lordship knows, Lord, vested rights, Lord, cannot be taken away by retrospective.
No, see, what they have done is,
Yes.
they have also been very indulgent. They are giving you 5 years, then they're giving you another 4 years, they're giving you another 1 year. So, as a result, you've got a 10-year waiver period to acquire this qualification.
Not
That also,
If the regulator feels that a little more time needs to be given to achieve this standard, surely it can
the
give.
regulator has made it very clear it will not apply to such of those teachers who were appointed earlier. They have made it very clear. Act also, Lord, if you Lord give some time, Lord,
Yes.
he will interpret. In fact, Lord, the learned judge under the Lord impute judgment has interpreted that Lord is not retrospective, it's only prospective. One word, Lord, he has read into the Lord Act is that such of those teachers, Lord, who were appointed earlier, when you want to go for a promotion, please acquire TET. It is not found in the Act or in the regulation. That's why we are with the Lordship.
Mr. Wilson,
Yes, Lord.
NCT Act
Yes, Lord. Regulations, Lord.
confers power to frame regulations.
Yes, Lord.
32(2)(d) says
Yes, Lord.
the NCT will have the power to make regulations
Yes, Lord.
in respect of matters
Yes.
in clause D of section 12.
Yes, Lord.
Section 12,
Yes, Lord.
clause D says it is the function of the NCT to lay down guidelines in respect of minimum qualifications for a person to be employed as a teacher in recognized institutions.
Right.
Page 35 being referred to by Mr. Gupta
Yes.
refers to the 2001 regulations.
Yes, Lord. That is
NCT
N325.
determination
Yes.
of minimum qualifications for recruitment of teachers in schools.
Yes, Lord.
Now
Point.
state between 2001 and the enforcement of the RTE Act.
Yes.
If teachers have been appointed
Yes.
who do not possess the minimum qualifications laid down by NCTE,
Yes.
would they not come within the coverage of Section 23?
Yes.
Yes.
You are saying it is prospective. It is prospective. Let us assume.
Yes.
But what about compliance with 2011 regulations, 2001 regulations?
Not
The
2000.
10-year period
Yes.
from 2001 till the Act was enforced. Act was enforced sometime in 2010. Right?
Ultimately 11.
2011.
Because there is a second notification.
But if it
I
goes,
from 10
but if it
years.
goes deep into that, when it was actually implemented,
If any teacher has been appointed between 2001 and 2011 who does not fulfill the requirements of the 2001 regulation, he has to, in terms of 23(1), have this state qualification. Those who have been appointed in terms of the regulations, they are accepted by clause 4.
correct.
Right? Therefore,
And
they are
actually class
accepted.
three also.
They are accepted. There is another category who is accepted. Those who were appointed prior to the 2001 regulations, because NCT had not framed the regulations by then, they are also excluded. But this act will pinch those who have been appointed after 2001, not in accordance with the qualifications. Simple as that.
But
For
2000,
them, it becomes necessary to get the minimum qualifications within that 5 years.
Lord, this minimum qualification of passing in TET, my Lord, was prescribed, my Lord, only after
You need not pass TET.
Yes.
You may have been appointed in 2005.
qualification they have acquired.
You have the qualification in terms of 2001, you are saying?
Yes, we have saved. Lord, that is what, if your Lordship sees clause 5, kindly see, my Lord, page 327. Your Lordship is right. Your Lordship is
327
clearly to
of?
that. 327. Our typeset, my Lord, the government has filed.
No, can you tell us what you are referring to? No, what are you referring to?
2010 regulation, my Lord. 2010 regulation.
That's the one. Your Lordship has it open.
Same
Same
one.
one, 23rd August.
Yes.
Your Lordship kindly see.
It starts
teachers
with the
appointed
teacher appointed after
after
the date.
the date of this notification, certain cases.
Right.
Where an appointment, appropriate governments or local authority or a school has issued an advertisement to initiate the process of appointment of teachers prior to the date of this notification. Such appointments may be made in accordance with the NCTE regulations 2000.
Right. This is the 2001 regulations that I am talking about.
Yes.
This is under 12D.
Yes.
So, NCTE, because the RTE Act was not there in 2001,
Yes. It came
in
in
2001, NCTE framed a regulation saying ABCD would be the minimum qualifications. So what 5 says is, if before the coming into force of this notification, that is 23rd August 2010, any teacher, any advertisement has been issued by any school, that school will see to it that the teachers who are appointed are having the qualifications under the 2001 regulation.
That's fine. There's no difficulty.
4 and 5 read together, they don't conflict.
Yes.
They don't conflict. It is only that between 2001 and 2011, if you have obtained the qualification mentioned in the 2001 regulation, you are said you did not pass teaching.
Lord, there's one more regulation of 2014, Lord.
Right?
That gives a very clear clarification. Lord, in fact,
Sir, I come to that.
yes.
I